Hi everyone, my name is Alezandra and I am a third culture kid. I was born in Panama City, Panama, and after just a few short months, about 3, my dad got a job in Cancun, Mexico. My dad does a lot of hotel work. He's a hotelier, and we moved around a lot, as you will be able to see. From Panama, we went to Cancun, where we lived a really long time. My brother Julio was born in Cancun, and we lived around 7 years there. So don't remember much of that, but apparently it was fun. And from Cancun, we went to Guatemala City for about 2 years. And then from Guatemala City, we went to Santo Domingo, República Dominicana, the Dominican Republic, great, and had an amazing time in the Dominican Republic. We still have friends that we consider family over there, so definitely one of my home points is Santo Domingo. And then we thought we had gotten all of our, culture shock out of the way, but joke was on us, because my dad got a job in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And let me tell you about culture shock. Wow. Brazil is definitely one of the greatest places we've lived in, and we loved so much, but it was definitely very hard because, to begin with, we didn't speak the language. Everything we have spoken until that point was Spanish and English, so learning a brand new language for the 4 of us was a challenge. A little easier for us two, Julio and I, but for my parents, who are absolute troopers, now speak it fluently as well. So that was fun. We did 8 years, around 8 years there. So I spent a good chunk of lower school, middle school, and high school there. And then halfway through my junior year in high school, with the International Baccalaureate and everything, we got moved to Mexico City. So that was just a completely different type of culture shock, because we now had to revert back to when we first came into Brazil, knowing or thinking we knew. And it was definitely an interesting transition. One of my toughest changes came around there, because socially I had everything going for me, and I had gotten my friends, I had gotten into basketball, and I had gotten into volleyball, and was just very much comfortable and at home there. So when all of a sudden, I think it was like August, that my dad told us that we were moving, and we only had until December to really, get it all together. I was not a happy camper. Now I am, though, because I know better, and I've learned, and I've grown a lot as a human being because of this move. So after Brazil, we naturally went to Mexico City, where I finished off high school and my IB diploma. And I say it because it was a really big challenge. Anybody that's done the IB definitely knows that changing halfway through, or moving to a place where maybe they don't have the same type of higher levels or standard levels as the school where you came from, you can totally get thrown back a few steps, or even just completely taken out of the diploma because of the stresses of trying to find an independent study or something similar to it. But it was definitely done. And I was able to graduate with my IB and my high school diploma from Mexico City. And then in Mexico City, I decided to embark in my own journey. This time I decided to move out and go to college in the United States, specifically to a nice and tiny college called Lynn University, where I spent all of my undergrad years. I made friends for a lifetime. I had so much fun in college, and then additionally decided to stay for my master's. So I had about 5 years at Lynn University, and then an extra year for my OPT, and that was fun and super exciting. I still call, FaceTime, Skype every day some of my friends over there, and it was such a fun time for me. It was a good time for me to grow. It was a good time to me to find out who I was without my parents, because I always had that comfort of coming home to my parents. So I definitely did what most of us do and got busy instead of just kind of waiting for things to happen to me. I got really, really busy. I became an RA, then I became a community advisor, all within housing and residence life, kind of to just balance myself out. But it was a lot of fun, a lot of fun. My master's was great fun. My undergrad was amazing. Totally wish I could go back to college. So everybody that's in college, enjoy college now, because it's definitely over by the time, 4 years go by. So that was fun. When did I learn about the term TCK, or third culture kid? I definitely heard it from my dad, who is a very smart human. He started throwing around terms like chameleon effect and third culture kid when we first arrived to Mexico City, because we realized that although we were Panamanian, we really weren't, because I've never lived there, at least, and my parents had been out of the country for 20 plus years. So really, Panamanian how? Really only by passport. So what are you really? Are you Brazilian because you spent 8 years there? Are you just generally Latin because you're Latin? So all of those terms kind of got thrown around the house a lot around 2009. And I just kind of left it at that, just kind of accepted it, just, okay, Dad, whatever you say. So, shocker for me, in my master's, I was doing a communications class where they asked me to do a presentation on a term that really wasn't foreign to me, but wasn't really well explained to me either. And I decided to do it on third culture kid and the chameleon effect. So really in about 2015, 2016, definitely 2016, because it was toward the end of my master's, I made this presentation. I really started to really understand what it meant to be a third culture kid and what all of that implied to my personality, to my surroundings, to how I reacted to things. And it's all very interesting. The presentation should be in here somewhere, but very interesting. And that's when I started to really hone in on the fact that maybe I don't have one home, I have many, which is exactly what it was. Because home should be somewhere where you breathe in and you're just kind of like, I'm home, I'm here, I can be myself, I know where things are, I know the people, I know the culture. So for me, that's definitely several places around Latin America that allow me to do that and allow me to feel at home and safe. So yes, home, definitely somewhere where I can be. And then I coined the fact that I was a TCK around 2015, 2016, towards the end of my master's. Along naturally with all of these changes that we all go through, naturally we all have challenges, right? My number one challenge, and I will dare say that I have two that I'm really bad at, is saying goodbye, because I suck at it. Wow. I don't like saying goodbye because I know exactly what it means to say goodbye. And a lot of the times I like to think, because it hurts me so much to say goodbye to people, that it's because I'm not saying goodbye. It's a see you later. So that's usually what I do when I leave or when I'm about to go somewhere. It's I'll see you later, because it's never really ending. It's a continuous thing. I never want to shut doors on anybody. So definitely one of my coping methods to saying goodbye, which is one thing I'm terrible at, is saying I'll see you later. And the second thing I'm absolutely terrible at is getting used to things again. It used to be a lot easier when we were tinier because, as kids, nothing really has specific meaning to it. You're just kind of there and you make the best out of the situation. But now as I've grown older and, you just start making your own opinions, it's definitely gotten a little harder to accept certain things and just go with the flow. So definitely those are my two top challenges as a TCK. That's really me in a really small cluster. I would love to hear from y'all, so please go ahead and email me if you need. And I hope y'all really go ahead and share y'all stories, because all of us are very, very different, and all of us have very, very different life outtakes, and it's very interesting and super cool to see us all kind of get together in one place. So I really hope to hear about y'all soon, and I'll catch y'all next time.